भगवत्पादं शङ्करं योगशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। उकारस्वन्धकारो वैरुकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिवर्तित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ पुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। अर्जुन उवाच श्रीभगवानुवाच असंयतात्मना योगः दुष्प्रापैति मे मतिः पश्यात्मना तु यतता शक्यो वाप्तुमुपायतः। Asamyata Atmana, the one who has not mastered the mind, yogaha dushprapaha. So this is same as when Bhagavan said, dukkam aptum ayogataha, sanyasastu mahabaho, dukkam aptum ayogataha. So there is no hurry in anything, right? Because you have a whole lifetime and multiple lifetimes. So there is a structure to how you get there. If you put cart before the horse, it's always a problem, right? So you have to gain your qualification. Therefore, he is discouraging people from rushing into something. Okay, so therefore there are only three stages, right? Anyway, initially you are a karmi. You are either doing a laukika karma or vaidika karma or both. Then somebody becomes, once recognized this Nitya Vastu Viveka, the person becomes a Karma Yogi. From that he has said, Arurukshor Muner Yogam Karma Karanam Uchade, Yoga Rudasya Tasyeva Shama Karanam Uchade. Shama means Upashama, leaving the karma and all that. That is how Shankaracharya takes. Shama is Prashamanam, Sarva Karma you give up. So that person is getting into Dhyana Yoga. Giving up Vaidika karma. Why I am emphasizing that? Because next question is because of that only. So the person gives up all the Vaidika karmas and Laukika karma also, getting into fully meditative state. Okay. So that is the second stage. Then the person, once reasonably there, he continues to do Shravana still. Okay. Though most of his time is in Dhyana, but he continues to do Shravana. Then the person is enough qualified, is fully into Jnana Nishta and becomes a Mukta Purusha, right? So that is the process. Any stage, if you skip and try to go to the other one in a hurried fashion, it becomes a problem. That is why he says, Asamyata Atmana, if the person hasn't mastered the mind, then you go and sit in yoga, it becomes a problem because there is no field. See, in fact, that is why in the next one also Arjuna asked that question. Chinnabhram eva nashyati. He is going to say, like a cloud, small cloud moves away from the main cloud, it gets scattered away. So big cloud is like the society, right? It is going in one direction. You try to run away unless you have a proper, see, because you are coming out of the structure. See, there is a system in place now. You have a family structure, you have a financial setup, all that is there. So your ability to grow is better protected when you have all the support system, right? But somebody who comes out of it is like a small cloud which has come out of the large cloud. It gets dissipated in no time. So that's why Arjuna gives that example saying, will this person, because he comes out of the society, he gets scattered away. So the cloud has to be strong enough to survive, right? Otherwise it's a problem. So in fact Swamiji says, if this cloud also goes along with the same speed, he actually use this the same imagery to show how a jnani has to function. He says, if it goes at the same pace and slightly away, but along with it, then it will be able to sustain itself. Otherwise, it gets scattered away. Right? So, like that, when somebody becomes a yogi, it has to be a gradual process. Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhanat mrityoho mukshiya. That urva, so the pumpkin, it is in the creeper. Okay, it doesn't know when it has given up. It slowly every day it will thin. Then so there won't be any movement. But the attachment just goes away without you seeing, right? Bandhanat, urvarukamiva. That's what it says. Okay, may you relieve me without any effort. So it has to happen in a very natural way. So you don't rush yourself into sannyasa or dhyana yoga. You don't need to, right? It will come. Okay, your disposition will automatically happen. Therefore, asamyata atmana yogaha dushprapaha iti mama matihi is my vision. Okay, and it cannot be contested, like I said. So when it is Bhagavan's vision, that means it's the satyam. Vashyatmana, the one whose mind is mastered, yatata, one who makes effort also, you need to be alert all the time. Okay, otherwise things can lead you before you know we already saw a couple of stories, right? So you can get, but obviously people will come back. So that is why Bhagavan also says, don't worry, once you have turned, when Ganges has turned, right? So it is already, Uttaravahini in Ganga, in Kashi, right? So you have started looking at yourself. The moment you have done that, see, you cannot get any worse. That's what he is going to say. Okay, so at the most you will come back and then go back again, right? That's all. Let's go next one. Arjuna uvacha ayati shraddhayo betaha yogachalita manasaha aprapya yoga samsiddhim kam gatim krishna gacchati. Arjuna uvacha, hey Krishna, Shraddhaya upetaha ayatihi yogat chalita manasaha yoga samsiddhim aprapya kam gatim gacchati. So, hey Krishna, the person who has still a Shraddha in Shastra, okay, these are all very important points, right? He is giving up his karma despite having Shraddha in Shastra, okay? And here also it is two ways you can take. One is Karmakanda Shraddha, then Vedanta Shraddha also. Okay, Swamiji generally in his explanation is taking it as Vedanta Shraddha. Because he has Vedanta Shraddha, even though every now and then the Yatnam has come down, he still comes back. That is how he takes it. But here we can also take, because Arjuna is talking about somebody who is giving up karma. Therefore, this person has Shraddha in Shastra to do it. But then in the sannyasa dharma and dhyana, he is not able to put adequate effort. Then what happens to that person? At least if he had honored his shraddha and done karma, he would have at least ended up in some swarga, right? That is his question. Shraddhaya upetaha, endowed with the shraddha, ayatihi, the one who is not putting enough effort for in yoga, okay? That person, yoga chalita manasaha, whose mind, you have asked for steady mind, right? But that's what Bhagavan, he says, Sada Yunjan Yogam Atmanaha, he has said. So that steadiness is not there. Okay, Chalita Manasaha, who is wandering, right? Who wanders away. Yoga Samsiddhim Aprapya, without getting the success in yoga, Kam Gatim Gacchati, hey Krishna. He is asking that question. In fact, in the next question, he is going to say, none other than you can answer this. Okay. Why that is said? Because this question is about what happens to him after death. Because he is saying, which gati? Gati means here is talking about rebirth only. And that is why Bhagavan is going to answer in the same way. So who can answer like his question, right? What is there after death? Which loka is there and all that? The only upadhi that can happen is the Sarvajna upadhi, the one who knows everything. And that upadhi is Bhagavan only, right? So here, that's why the Jiveshwara Samvada, the Ishvara only can answer. Arjuna is not just saying just to praise, just to get an answer from Bhagavan, or like we say, no, only you can answer. So it's like That is not how it is. It's a factual statement, right? Only Ishvara has a vision into which jiva gets what karma, what is. So, if there is that karma model, who gives the benefit of that particular pala, right? Once karma is attached to which pala, and when should one get? See, we say Sanchita is infinite birth karma, okay? So, which is like infinite punya, infinite papa. Now, in this birth, you probably have brought some 1,400,000 karma, right? We don't know how much you brought. So, which 1 lakh comes in this birth, who decides, right? It could be any combination. And then for that karma, what benefit or this thing should be there? How do you know? See, generally in stories they will say if you beat a cow, somebody will beat you there, like that. Okay, it is just an expression, right? But we don't know which karma gives what. So that connection Bhagavan only can give. And when he is going to give you what birth also Bhagavan can only give. Which loka you go, Bhagavan only can say. Right? So that upadhi, that is yugapat jnanam is there. That is, see, Ishvara upadhi, when you have to understand, I think I briefly said the other day, see, everything is jnapti. We have now, after 1 week at least, we can see that, right? If everything is consciousness, then the srishti is manasa srishti only. Like that is like my dream. In my dream, how is the srishti? Though when I am in the dream, I am seeing an elephant, I am seeing a tree, I am seeing myself maybe with two heads and 6 hands, but still I see an eye there, right? And they all look like tangible things, right? But then they are made up of my own consciousness. It is what a manasa srishti for me. The dream is a manasa srishti. Now if the jagat also, like we see, is consciousness, then it is Ishvara's manasa srishti. That's why the Veshti Samashti, it's very easy to just understand. If you understand your state, just project it. Then that's why, see, the other day I was saying, no, Padmanabha from Nabhi is Brahma. Think about it. If Padmanabha is Vekan and Brahma is dream, dream comes from what? Your experiences in Vekan only leads you to the dream. Therefore, he comes from the Nabhi of Vishnu. So, Samashti also, Hiranyagarbha is dependent on Virat, right? If it is a subtle body. The imprints are from the Virat only. No? So, what I am trying to say is the Veshti Samashti is how you can clearly understand. So, the whole thing is a Manasa Srishti. Like your dream is that's why in the Purana it is said Brahma created Manasa Putras and from those Putras something came, right? So, then the Ishvara projects the Jagat, means the Upadhi has to be an Upadhi which knows everything at once. Like you know everything at once in your dream. You don't know one by one, right? Because it is you who are projecting the dream. So therefore Bhagavan's Upadhi is at once it knows. Okay, it doesn't know things by sequence. In fact, it knows, so there is Jagat. So there is a word for it. I just mentioned that. What is that called? At once. There is a Sanskrit word for it. Yugapat. So there is a Yugapat Jnana. There is not a sequential Jnana there. So that kind of Upadhi. So Bhagavan knows which jiva gets what at that time. So that's why here he is saying, you only can give me that Jnana. Who else can tell me what is going to happen for these people? Okay, then Bhagavan assures, obviously says, don't worry, it's all fine. Okay. So, hey Krishna, Upetaha, so this comes from the Shastra Shraddha. Okay, Arjuna's Shraddha is, you are said, okay, Shastra says, by doing these things you will get good. Okay. Even your Laukika wants, you do it through Vaidika Karma, your Kamya also, so that you not see, even like I said the other day, everything in our Dharma, you have to, if you want to understand, you have to recognize that it is said, just consider that with moksha in sight, why it is said. So whether it is Shaucham, anything that you think of, right, which typically we get disturbed, saying, why did they do this? Okay. Then if you look at it purely from moksha perspective for that individual or that society or whatever, then you will understand. Everything is with moksha in pursuit. So when even the equality of society and all this they talk about here, it is purely misunderstanding. See the way our vision is. This I was probably a dog in some birth, right? I myself was probably a buffalo in another birth. I am somebody in this birth. In the next birth, I am somebody else. So there is no inequality, because when I say I am in this birth, I should not touch a dog. That doesn't mean that I have a hatred for dog, because I myself was a dog once, and that dog can become a human at some point also, right? So therefore, there is no sense of inequality there. It is what is good for the dog and you. That is what is at that time. That is what is thought. Right? So the whole Shraddha, why I am talking about it, once a person has Shraddha in Shastra, then it is difficult to give up what Shastra has told. No, Bhagavan himself is here saying you give up and then do Dhyana. Right? Then Arjuna's question is, when Shastra is the one which is going to give me good, that person good, okay, somebody who has taken sannyasa, then if whatever you are proposing, if he doesn't get that, then whatever Shastra has told as good is already given up. No? So that is the Shraddha by which he is asking this question. Upetaha ayatihi, when without effort, yoga chalita manasaha, yoga samsiddhim aprabhya, without getting success in yoga, what happens to this person? Okay. Basically what happens is, does he go down so does he get a lower birth? That is his problem. Because otherwise by doing Vaidika karma he should have got a better birth, so he progresses, is what Shastra says. Okay, so it is a imagined problem of Arjuna. Okay, what will happen? So he is basically worried. The next one, Kaschinno Ubhaya Viprashtaha.
Kaschinno Ubhaya Viprashtaha.
Chinnabhramiva Nashyati.
Chinnabhramiva Nashyati.
Chinnabhramiva Nashyati.
Chinnabhramiva Nashyati.
Apratishto Mahabaho.
Apratishto Mahabaho.
Vimudo Brahmanah Pati.
Vimudo Brahmanah Pati.
I will read Shankara's introduction. He says, Tatra Yogabhyasa Angikarena. Okay, by Angikara of Yogabhyasa, by accepting the Yogabhyasa, Paraloka, Ihaloka, Prapti Nimittani Karmani. Okay, so the karma which will give him the Ihaloka wants and Paraloka needs also, Sanyastani. Yoga siddhi palam cha moksha sadhanam samyak darshanam na praptam. Okay. So he has neither got the benefit of meditation nor jnanam. Okay. That kind of a yogi, yoga margat marana kale chalita chittaha iti tasya nasham ashankya. Okay. At the time of death, see the chalanam, he is talking about the yogi's mind even at the time. See, in fact, Bhagavan says, now how you leave your body influences what you take. So therefore, Shankaracharya here adds a color to it, saying in Maranakala, if there is a Chalita Manasa, he may have been with Yatnam throughout, but just around the time of death, what if he goes back? So Shankaracharya always favors sannyasis. No, he doesn't accept that sannyasi will leave out yatna. But just around the time of death, suppose he leaves, then what happens? Is how he adds a little color, but it's okay. We have to take in a very generic sense only here. So, ayatihi shraddhaya, next one, right? Yeah. Kaschin Mahabaho Brahmanaha Pati Vimudaha Apratishtaha Ubhaya Viprashtaha Chinna Abramiva Kaschid Nanashyati. Abram means cloud or sometimes sky also, Akasha. Abrasadas. You know, Chidambaram is called Abrasadas because it is Akasha Tattva. So, Abram cloud Vatimal space undana cloud dana. Mahabaho, hey Mahabaho, Brahmanaha Pati. Okay, in the path of Brahman, so Margaha, Shankaracharya takes it as Brahmana Pati. is Brahma Prapti Marga. Okay, that is how. So that is basically Jnana. In the path of knowledge of Brahman, Vimudaha, one who is deluded, Apratishtaha, without any support. Okay, because once somebody has become a sannyasi or a Dhyana yogi, there is no structural support for the person. He is like, neither he has Laukika support, financial support, nor spiritual support also, because he cannot do any Sandhya Vandana, he cannot do puja, he cannot, so the only upasana, some Omkara and all this Dhyana yoga only the person can do. So that means karma is completely taken out. So there is no field of operation, right? So there is no emotional growth, support is there for the person. Okay, that's why Apratishta, he says, right, without any support. Ubhaya Viprashtaha, the one who has given up both Laukika and Vaidika karma are fallen from both. Chinna, fallen from both if you take from, yeah, we need to see why he uses fallen from both. I think it is Karma Yoga and Dhyana Yoga only is probably is meant.
Shankara Bhasha.
Yeah. Karma Marga Viprashtaha and Yoga Marga. Okay. That is what. So he is neither doing Karma Yoga now, nor he is able to hold on to Dhyana. That's why Swamiji uses this as Ubhaya Viprashtaha, means given who has fallen from both. Okay, one who has fallen from both. Chinna Abhramiva, like a cloud which has Chinnam means broken away, right? Kaschit na nashyati, will he not be destroyed? Okay. Okay, so here Chinna Abhram, Swamiji, I will read what Swamiji writes, okay. So asking, Arjuna compared the destruction to that of a cloudlet that has separated itself from a large body of clouds. Chinna Abhram Iva. Not wanting to wait for the big body of clouds perhaps, this cloudlet separates itself in its haste to reach the Himalayas, where it can sit on top of the mountains and not be disturbed. So he just goes with that imagery, right? Instead, somewhere in the middle of India, tossed about by howling winds, it just disappears, fizzles out. Okay. So too, this person had dropped out of conventional society in his attempt to reach moksha quickly. He may even have gone to sit in the rarefied air of Himalayas, but instead of becoming a true sannyasi, he became a dropout, just like the cloudlet. Does he not destroy himself same way as the cloudlet? And then he says, the cloudlet that is prepared to travel at the same slow speed as the big body of clouds can look down at the mountains, up at the stars, and be protected by the winds of destruction. See, what he is trying to say is, if you are in the society, then since you have the support system for you, you will be able to, with assurance, observe what goes on, become more mature, right? Because you have opportunity to try out things also, right? Whereas here, you are completely restricted. That is the idea. That's why the Chinnabram is a good example actually. Okay. Etanme samshayam Krishna.
Etanme samshayam Krishna.
Chetumarhasya seshataha.
Chetumarhasya sheshataha.
Tvadanyas samshayasyasya.
Tvadanyas samshayasyasya.
Chetana hyupapadyate.
Chetana hyupapadyate.
हे कृष्ण मे एतत् संशयम् अशेषतः चेतुम् अर्हसि हि त्वदन्यः अस्य संशयस्य चेता न उपपद्यते. Okay, उपपद्यते is not available. Okay. संशयस्य चेता मधुसूदनः. Okay, so the one who can destroy all your doubts and ego, that kind of a thing is only Bhagavan. Okay, therefore this samshayam has to be removed, has to be eliminated, because then only if this doubt goes, then I can progress, right? any of these kind of things are major obstacles. So you don't even know whether to do anything or not, right? Therefore he is asking, these need to be eliminated and none other than you can do. Okay, you just assure me that his problem is not whether he gets moksha or not. His problem is whether he should give up karma or not. Okay, that means will I get, even if I don't get moksha, so long as I am not put into a adama life in the next life, I am happy. That is the question. That is what is implied here, right? So does he go down any further by doing this? Okay, I think we can understand this. So we move. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Partha Naivehana
Partha Naivehana Mudra
Vinashastasya Vidyate
Vinashastasya Vidyate
Nahi Kalyana Krit Kaschite
Nahi Kalyana Krit Kaschit
Durgatim Tata Gacchati.
Durgatim Tata Gacchati.
So Bhagavan said, Hey Partha, Tasya Vinashaha, for that Ubhaya Viprashtaha, Vinashaha, Iha Nayeva Vidyate, Na Amutra, He Tata, he, because Kaschit Kalyana Krite, Durgatim Nagachati. Okay, no person who does good action goes back, goes to a bad end, right? So why is this good action? We will see. Hey Partha, okay, for that person, Vinashaha, destruction is not there either in this life or hereafter. Okay, now this word Kalyanaha is actually for moksha. Generally, Kalyana, the one who is pursuing moksha, so that is anything which is taking you to a better thing. A Mangala karma is called Kalyana. That's why marriage also is, because Grihastha ashrama is the highest of the ashramas, right? And higher than that, the only thing is moksha. Because Grihastha only is the backbone of the society, right? They say the first to write on the food you cook is on the brahmacharis and sannyasis, is what they say. Okay, if without feeding, you cannot eat. This movie, right, one Tamil movie, Avuyar one movie is there. In that, there will be one miser. Okay, he will not give. So he will tell his. So there will be some thing going on. Avuyar will come. All that is not relevant here. But he will tell his servant, just go out, see when nobody is there, call people for bhiksha and quickly come in. Okay. So even though he didn't want to feed, okay, but the custom was there that you are supposed to first invite people and then only you can eat. That's why since we are not getting people, we put it for crow now, right? So because without feeding somebody, you are not supposed to eat. So the Grihastha dharma was like that, right? So you are who you are supporting brahmacharis as well as sannyasis, right? And when you become sannyasi and when you are brahmachari, you are supported by these grihasthas. So the society takes care of you and you take care of the whole thing. So therefore the grihastha dharma is considered as the most auspicious. That's why Kalyana Krita. See, I have been making fun of marriage, so somewhere I have to make a So this Kalyana Krita is somebody who is seeking moksha. Okay. So the word Kalyana is used for marriage, that's why I was saying. So the person who has started, all that you do is, we always focus on anatma. Okay, we take care of people around us, it's anatma. We take care of this body, that's also for anatma only. Even this mind also is anatma only, right? But then you generally take care of anatma for what? For the sake of atma only. Like Kalidasa says, no? Dharma sadhanam is your body. So you have to take care of the body so that you can do dharma and you can gain atma. But we always, lose track of atma and are focused only on anatma. The moment you bring your attention to atma, then your journey has started, right? When the atma jnana, when you started pursuing, then you have turned. That is when the Ganges has turned, right? So that is the Kalyana Krita. Now, once that journey has started, there is no going back, right? Then why would, even if temporarily somebody goes out, until you reach, the Bhagavan himself says, no, the river, until it reaches the ocean, from the point of start, it is always fast. Whatever comes in its way, it will just break it and then go and reach the ocean, right? So, because it knows then it has to reach its Swarupa. So once it has started its journey, it is not going to stop. So because like that your Swarupa is like a ocean, no? So you have taken once you have chosen to know you, then until you know you, you are not going to stop. So therefore Durgati is not possible. And even the person comes back to regular, it is not going to be any worse than what was there earlier, either way, right? So things can only be better from the point a person starts looking at oneself. Okay. And what happens to the karma? One more thing Swamiji says is very interesting is, once the moksha pursuit starts, then the aspects like whether I will become a frog, those kind of karmas go away, is what he says. Okay. You will continue to, that is why Bhagavan is going to say that you will be born in people in an environment which is more conducive for you. Okay. Therefore, from a karma perspective also, when a person has started pursuing this jnana, so certain karmas will never fructify for those people. And anyway, once the person gains jnana, those karmas go away. Okay. It's all Shraddha only. See, karma related, anything is Shraddha. And with some supporting arguments like horoscope and all that. Okay, that's all we can say. But anyway, if you believe in karma, you have to believe this also. No, both are equally. Okay, next one. प्राप्य पुण्यकृतां लोकान् उषित्वा शाश्वती समाः शुचीनां श्रीमतां गेहे योगभ्रष्टोऽभिजायते. Bhagavan also uses the word yoga brashtaha. See, brashta is a very strong word. Okay, because Arjuna used to obey brashta, Bhagavan also said. Because actually, what is the brashtatvam here? You are not actually fallen. Brashta means you are fallen, right? Technically. Okay, but from yoga brashtaha. Okay, the one who is temporarily away from yoga is what you have to take. Punyakritam lokan prapya. Okay, Shaswati samaha ushitva suchinam srimatam gehe abhijayate. So, like he was asking, this lokas, okay, the worlds of heaven and Brahmaloka and all, he will go. So better, so if you have any worry that I have given up Vajpaya, Somayaga and all, don't worry, you are getting better heavens here. So he says Punya Kritam Lokam, where all the people who have done Punya by doing all this Vajpaya and this karma, wherever they live, you also will go and live. Okay. And that too for not limited years, Shashwati Samaha, long time you will live. Okay, so and then Ushitva, having lived there, Shuchinam Srimatam Gehe Abhijayate. Okay, Shuchina means the one who is pure, and Srimatam wealthy. Okay, so therefore Swamiji takes this purity as dharma related purity, not because otherwise wealthy people can be anybody, right? And that is not going to help him. He can only go down if you go to a wealthy person who is not dharmika. So this all talks about the karma pala of. So there are two things he talks about, right? One, he is also going to say that this person will continue the pursuit, which means he is talking about what kind of the samskara that he gets, right? The vasanas will continue. Okay, they have a role. That is also he is saying, because vasana, we see, Swamiji has making this thing, the child which cries more becomes a musician, and a child which breaks anything which comes in the way becomes a civil engineer. So he is like, so basically the vasana is exhibit when the child is born itself, right? We have seen so many cases that the tendencies are there. So how do the tendencies come? Right? And it is not even genetically explainable in many cases. Right? So therefore, Bhagavan says it carries forward into this thing. Right? So Suchinam Gehe, people who are wealthy as well as dharmic, in those places the person will be born, so that you have a conducive environment to continue your pursuit, we should say. Okay. अथवा योगिनामेव कुले भवति धीमताम् एतद्धि दुर्लभतरम् लोके जन्म यदीदृशम्
लोके जन्म यदीदृशम्
अथवा धीमतां योगिनां एव कुले भवति जन्म ओके यत् ईदृशं जन्म हि लोके एतत् दुर्लभतरम् so otherwise in buddhimatam Shankaracharya takes it as panditas okay who may not be who will not who actually daridranam kule he says okay srimatam kulad अन्यस्मिन् योगिनामेव दरिद्राणां कुले भवति जायते बुद्धिमताम् so he says basically daridra means brahmana in those days daridryam because brahmana only can't store or earn they have to only do bhikshacharanam and all that right and they will have parigraha but what is needed therefore here daridra means the person who is a pandita but who may not be so either you have a cultural and wealthy start or yoginam kule the person who is a karma yogi and who does anushtana and all that may not have wealth so these both are very conducive right? But that doesn't mean only people who are born in these conducive will become jnani these we are only talking about this yoga brashta because they have already gained some kind of composure so they get a better start is how it is योगिनामेव कुले धीमतां कुले भवति धी means pandita here okay and in fact I think he compares and then says yogi kula is better than even a wealthy that's why here only he is saying durlabhataram okay it is better taradamya is comparison so tamam means the best here uses the durlabhataram of the two this is more difficult to get right you may even be born in a wealthy family but it is difficult to be born in a panditya where because that is where you can quickly start right because at home itself you will have the environment okay yasmat tatra tam buddhi samyogam labhate paurvadehikam yatate cha tato bhuyah संसिद्धौ कुरु नंदन तत्र पौर्वदेहिकं तं बुद्धि संयोगं लभते ओके कुरु नंदन च ततः भूयः संसिद्धौ यतते there in that new birth Paurvadehikam, what existed in previous body, that connection, not that he will remember that, but that kind of samskara he basically gets, that carries forward. Okay, that's what it is. We shouldn't think that the person will know exactly what he did, because in between he would have lived hundreds of years in Swarga, no, maybe he would have forgotten by then. No. So, Buddhi Samyogam, Hey Guru Nandana, so again Guru Nandana, he also now he is again talking of he being from a lineage of Guru, right? So again rebirth and those kind of things are implied here. Tataha bhuyaha samsiddhau yatate. Okay, so samsiddhi means yoga. Okay, siddhi, samsiddhi is final accomplishment, which is jnanam only. See, hereafter the yoga is jnanam, because he is finally going to conclude that yogi is the greatest of all. Beyond karmi, then jnani also he says, tasmat yogi bhavarjuna is how it finishes. Okay, so you have to say dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga sajnitam, that kind of a yoga which is actually jnani, jnana lakshanam only. So that's why here also samsiddhau yatate means for the siddhi which is jnanam, the person continues his life. Okay. Starting off with the right kind of samskaras and vasanas. Okay. There are many examples we have already seen where people have got those vasanas right. पूर्वाभ्यासेन तेनैव क्रियते ह्यवशोऽपि सः जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य शब्दब्रह्मादि वर्तते तेन पूर्व अभ्यासेन एव अवशः अपि सः क्रियते योगस्य yogas hriyate hi yogasya jijnasuhu api Shabda Brahma Ativartate. Shabda Brahma means Veda. Brahma is used in many. Brahma means Brahmana. Brahma also means Chaturmukha Brahma. So Brahma means Veda. Brahmacharya is the one who is pursuing Veda is Brahmacharya, right? Then Brahma is really without that Param Brahma. So Brahma, like Atma, can be used in many. So contextually you have to understand, right? So here he uses Shabda Brahma. Shabda Brahma means the Veda itself. Ativartate means he goes beyond Karmakanda. That's what it means. Just not just Karmakanda, he goes to Jnana actually. Tena Abhyasena, by this, the previous birth practice, whatever the person had done before he became Ayati, okay, Avashaha api, even basically he just automatically gets pulled into it. Kriyate hi yogasya jijnasuhu api, okay. So even a person who is wanting to gain jnanam, that kind of stature gets and then goes beyond karma kanda and attains the moksha is what basically he says the person's samskara will carry forward, okay, the vasana will be there right from the start, from the next verse. Prayatnat yatamanastu yogi samshuddha kilvishaha aneka janma samsiddhaha tato yati parangatim tu prayatnat yatamana yogi samshuddha kilvishaha aneka janma samsiddhaha tataha param gatim yati. Okay, prayatnat, by the means of will, yatamanaha, one who makes a conscious effort. See, all these have to be conscious effort only. Okay, you have to choose. You have to choose moksha first. Okay, and then you have to choose jnanam for moksha, because you only have to make that choice, right? And yatanam also you have to make a choice. Even drifting thought to put on to a meditation, you only have to do prayatna. That's why yatihi. Because all these are conscious efforts. Otherwise things will drift away, right? So it is an expression of will. That's why it's called yatihi also. Right? The person is strong-willed then, because so other things will easily drift you. And it is natural that they pull you there, right? So which means only your alertness and will only will keep you going. Okay. Therefore, prayatnat yatamanaha yogi samshuddha kilvishaha. Okay, because he has already been into this path, karma yoga and jnana, this thing, dhyana yoga. So he is a kilvisha, he is free of all impurities. And this is aneka janma samsiddha, that we see, right? Because it takes many births before a person can even come to this. Ishvara anugraha deva pumsam advaita vasana dese. Okay. So only by anugraha. Because you can see, even if you want moksha, you can still end up with so many other things, right? Getting to a right tradition and person teaching itself is actually Ishvara Anugraha only. That's why Ascharyavat Pashyati Kaschit. See, a person gaining jnanam itself is difficult. Now the person gaining jnanam to think of teaching is difficult. And for that person to properly teach also is difficult, because you need not just be, Vastu is not enough, right? So you need to know the Sampradaya to teach. And you should have the capability to express it, right? That's all. It's grace only, right? Like Puji Swamiji, the way he paints the imagery, right? That is also something. He has also probably built it over time, developed it. And so if we have to go and reach that kind of a guru, it's some Ishvara Anugraha only. Otherwise, there are so many. First of all, you don't even know whether you have to look at Vedanta. You want moksha, there are 100 different things which are offered. Okay, they also say moksha, and in fact, there are Vedantic traditions also who don't follow proper sampradaya and then they teach. Right? And finally, you don't know who is a jnani, who is not a jnani, because for you to recognize a jnani, you should be a jnani. But if you are a jnani, why do you have to go and recognize a jnani, right? So there is no choice. That's why that's why Shastra says, Samipanihi Gurum Abhigachyate Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. So these are the only two qualities you generally look for. The person should have come in the proper sampradaya. But also, how do you know? Even then you don't know he is a jnani or not. So he says Brahmanishtam, the person should have Nishta in Brahman. But how do you know whether that person has Nishta in Brahman or not? So Swamiji generally says, if the person doesn't have Nishta in anything else, that you can know, no, if he is after fame, if he is after money, he is after... So at least if you know that he is not having Nishta on anything else, then you can infer that maybe he is having Brahmanishta only. So that is your best chance, right? So that is the only thing you can do. Otherwise, how will you find out where to go? So Ishvara's grace only. Ending up with proper teaching is a grace. Then your readiness to receive it is a grace. And your circumstances allowing you to continue there is a grace. And finally a jnanam happening to you is also a grace. Right? So it can take many births. Who knows when, who gets. So aneka janma samsiddhaha tataha yati parangatim. At some point, like the number of leaves in the tree story we spoke about, in some birth, sometime the person gains this. But the river won't stop until it goes to the ocean, right? Tapasvibhyodiko yogi.
Tapasvibhyodiko yogi.
Jnanibhyo bimatodhikaha.
Jnanibhyo bimatodhikaha.
Karmibhyaschadhiko yogi.
Karmibhyaschadhiko yogi.
Tasmad yogi bhavarjuna.
Tasmad yogi bhavarjuna.
So yogi bhava. Okay, so may you become a yogi. Let's see the Anvaya. Yogi tapasvibhyaha adhikaha. Jnanibhyaha api adhikaha. Yogi karmibhyaha cha adhikaha. Mataha. Okay. Tasmad, hey Arjuna, yogi bhava. So yogi is greater, is comparatively better. How will you take? Okay. So yogi adhikaha is superior. He says tapasvibhyaha. Okay. See, we will come to that. Tapasvibhyaha, so who lives a life of tapas, and the scholar, he takes jnani here as a scholarly jnanam. We can take as jnanam also. I will come to that. Yogi karmibhyaha adhikaha, the one who is just doing karma, he is superior to that. Iti mataha, it is considered. When we say adhikaha means somebody becomes a yogi after doing all this. That's what it means. Adhikaha means is not, oh, he is greater than this guy. That's not what it is, right? Because the same karmi only has become a yogi. The same jnani only has become a yogi, right? So here yogi is nishta. Okay, so even if a person gains jnanam, see, one is you can take jnanam as scholar. General scholarship, right, can be a jnanam. Or even if you say you have a Brahma jnanam, you may not have nishta. That is why we differentiate, no? That Jivan Mukta and Videha Mukta. What is the difference is, when the person has Nishta in this Jnanam, the person is called Jivan Mukta. The Jnanam is available all the time for that person. That is the Jivan Mukta Lakshana. But somebody gains Jnanam, but is not able to have a Nishta, that person is called Videha Mukta, that he is still not born again here. Okay. So he doesn't have another birth. But he is not getting the full benefit of jnanam in this birth. Only Jivan Mukta. See, technically Jivan Mukta is Mukta. Okay. Other person, since he has gained jnanam, at the time of gaining jnanam, karma has to go away. The jnanam, pasmasat kurte, right? At the time you gain the jnanam itself, all karma are gone. So if that is said, then how can the person be born again? So once a jnanam is gained, the person will never be born again. But he is not... the knowledge is not available to him all the time. So we can't say he is a Jivan Mukta. He is still getting frittered away here and there. Every now and then comes back to Jnana. Then we call, so that differentiation is generally done. The idea is to make people have Nishta. Right? So therefore, that is why I am saying this Jnanibhyaha yogi adhikaha, because even after gaining Jnanam, if you don't have Nishta, better is the person who is a yogi who has Nishta in this Jnana. So you can take it that way. Okay. Karmibhyaha adhikaha, we know a karma is just a start. Even though he is a Vaidika karma he is doing, but still he is still not in the yoga, so it is an earlier stage. You can take it that way. So your goal is to become a yogi, which is a jnani. Okay, so yogi bhava Arjuna. Okay. Then finally the Nishta is further says योगिनामपि सर्वेषां
योगिनामपि सर्वेषां
मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना
गतेनान्तरात्मना
श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां
श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां
समे युक्ततमो मतः.
समे युक्ततमो मतः.
So this is the Sarvatma Bhava he is talking about. So finally the benefit or fruit of all this jnanam is always shown as Sarvatma Bhava. The person sees Bhagavan in everything, right? And he is resting in that Bhagavan. So yaha shraddhavan madgatena antaratmana absorbed in me mam bhajate saha sarvesham yoginam api yuktatamaha me mataha. See, there are many of these chapters, Bhagavan ends saying that you being rooted to me is the final thing. That's why even finally he says Sarvadharman Paritejya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, right? So it is in the form of Ishvara Jnana, you are abiding in whatever you do, you are in Ishvara, right? Therefore, that kind of a person is even better than a yogi. He is not, there is no yogi or anything. All that is there is only Ishvara there, right? So that person, Sarvesham api yoginam, Madgatena antaratmana, the whole mind is on me. Me is Sarvatma Ishvara. Mama bhajate, contemplates on me, resides in me. Bhajate not even contemplates. He is in me, right? So he is me. Jnani tu atmaiva. Sarvesham yoginam api yuktatamaha. That kind of yogi is the greatest because he abides in me, he is me. So Brahmavid Brahmaiva. Om Tat Sat. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Supaniषत्सु
Bhagavad Gita
Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Dhyana Yogo Nama Sashtodhyayah. Om Tat Sat. Tat means Ishvara. Okay, Tat Tadeva. Whatever you see as this cognition in Samashti, that is Tat. And Tat is the Satyam Brahma. Okay, so Tat Tvamasi, Tat means Ishvara. Okay, Tvam is you, the individual. So generally it is one thing it is said, one way of looking at Gita is the first six chapters are Tvampada Vichara. It starts with Arjuna's wish, all the way from Arjuna's problems. It takes you to you doing dhyana and attaining Sarvantaryamitva status, right? So that is all the Tvampada. The next 6 chapters, including Vishwarupa and all that, is Tatpada Vichara. Bhagavan talks about himself, his Vibhuti, his presence, his Vishwarupa and all that. Then 13th chapter, he starts talking about Kshetrajnam Japyavam Vidhi and goes till the end. It's a Asipada, is how they look at. So here, so what I was trying to say from Tatsat, I just went there. So in Tattvamasi, so the Tatpada is Ishvara. So Tadeva Satyam, and that Satyam is your Swarupa also. Tatsat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishadsu. We have seen Bhagavad Gita is considered a Upanishad because the Upanishad Vakyas only are spoken again by Bhagavan here. Upanishadsu, Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastra, it talks about 2 things. Brahma Vidya, which is the Swarupa Jnanam. Yoga Shastra is the preparedness, which includes Dhyana Yoga. Okay. Krishna Arjuna Samvade, in the Samvada, it's a dialogue. Okay. All our teaching is in the form of dialogue. Guru Shishya dialogue only is how it is taught. Dhyana Yogo Nama, chapter called Dhyana, Shashtodhyaya. Okay. Dhyana Yoga is not yoga of Dhyana. Okay. This is the topic of this chapter was Dhyana. Dhyana Yoga Nama Shashtodhyaya. Ata Saptamodhyaya.
Saptamodhyaya.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Maya Saktamana Partha. Yogam Yunjanmadashraya. Asamshayam Samagram Mam. Yatagnasyasi Tachrunu. We generally start the next verse so that the teaching continues. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya